Hello students, now we will start with new topic, that is response to abiotic factors. In the previous video, we have seen what are abiotic factors: temperature, water, light and soil. In this response to abiotic factors, we will see how the organisms are responding to abiotic factors. Means how organisms are responding to temperature, light, water, etc. Now, the terms that are used to explain this response to abiotic factors are: first one, regulators. These are the organisms that do not change their body temperature according to surroundings. It means that the organisms that maintain their body temperature in a constant state. The organisms that maintain constant body temperature. This we can also write like the organisms that do not change their body temperature according to surroundings. So there is one more term, that is homeostasis. Means the condition in which the organism is maintaining constant body temperature is called as homeostasis. There are other type of organisms that change their body temperature according to surroundings, or the organisms that cannot maintain constant body temperature are called as conformers. Conformers. It means the organisms that do not maintain constant body temperature. Or the organisms that change their body temperature with regard to surroundings. These regulators are also given a term like endotherms, which maintain internal constant body temperature. Endotherms. In the same way, these conformers are given a term like ectotherms, means which are depending on the outer, ecto means outer, which are depending on the outer surrounding temperatures. These regulators are also given, means the organisms, what type of organisms are there, means here we can include warm-blooded animals. Like mammals, birds, etc. Now, under conformers, we can give another term for the type of organisms are cold-blooded organisms. Like reptiles, etc. So, some organisms maintain their internal or constant body temperature by maintaining the osmoregulation or osmosis. Such organisms are called as osmoregulators. The organisms under conformers also, they change their body temperature according to surroundings, and there will be change in osmoregulation or osmosis that is conducted by them. Those are called as Osmo Conformers. So, under regulators, the first one is osmoregulators. The organisms that maintain constant body temperature by osmosis or osmoregulation. This, in simple words, we can tell that by maintaining constant water and ions which are present inside the body. By maintaining water and ions. So, these osmoregulators are considered to be present both in freshwater and marine water also. How freshwater organisms are maintaining their body temperature by the process of osmosis or osmoregulations. Example is first one, freshwater fishes. Freshwater in the sense, in this type of freshwater, the water concentration will be having only 5% of ions, but the fish body will be having 15% of ionic concentration. In freshwater, or here, fish body has 15% of ion concentration, and water has only 5% of ion concentration. Such water are said as fresh waters. Ion concentration. Here, freshwater fishes are maintaining constant body temperature with the help of chloride ions that are present in the gills. What are chloride cells that are present in the gills? What are chloride cells? Chloride cells are those that are mitochondria rich cells. Here, the active process and passive process or active mode of utilization of ATP is also involved. Freshwater fishes are maintaining constant body temperature with the help of chloride cells. What are chloride cells? Chloride cells are mitochondria rich cells. In gills. So here more number of mitochondria are present. So what is happening in the initial stage? So in step 1, so initially ions from the body of the fish will be moving out and water will be moving out into the body by passive process. So initially we know that movement of these ions happen because inside the body there is more solute concentration. Initially ions are moved out and water is moved into fish body. So this process happens passively. In the next stage, means step 2. Now, water is moved out of fish body and ions move into fish body by active process, means by utilization of ATP. Active process. Now, in this second step, chloride cells are involved. They are located in the gills. So here, chloride cells are involved because they have lot of mitochondria, so that they can spend much ATP that is necessary. Second example will be of marine fishes. So, marine fishes live in water that is having ionic concentration of 30 to 35% of salt concentrations. So, second example is marine fishes. Marine fishes, here water concentration in marine water, we'll say. Here ion concentration of fish body is now 15%, but in freshwater fishes we have seen it is only 5% of ion concentration. In marine water, here ion concentration is of 30 to 35%, but inside the marine fish body the ion concentration is only 15%. So here also initially ions are moved out and water is moved into the body. So ions are moved into fish body and water is moved out of fish body passively. Next, in second step, ions are pumped out of the fish body and water will be moved into the fish body. This happens by active process, means again with the help of chloride ions. So, ions are moved out of a fish body. Here initially it is into, now out of fish body, and water is moved into fish body actively, means by utilization of ATP with the help of chloride cells, mitochondria rich cells. These fishes, they excrete, these marine fishes excrete hypertonic urine, but they intake lot of water and they maintain their body constant temperatures. Or osmosis process that is done by these marine fishes is perfectly done because of intake of more water. So these marine fishes excrete hypertonic urine, and so water outlet is less. So here under marine fishes the only exception is hagfish. Under marine fishes exception is hagfish. Hagfish is also called as jawless fish. It is also called as slime eel. It is a type of eel fishes, and this hagfish, it belongs to class Myxine. This is an exception under marine fishes which comes under osmoregulators. So it belongs to class Myxine. This is about osmoregulators. Second one is Osmo Conformers. These are the organisms that change their body concentration or temperature according to surroundings. We can also use a term like these organisms change their body concentration isotonic to surroundings. They change their body ion concentration according to surroundings. Instead of this line, we can also write isotonic to surroundings. Examples we can take all marine invertebrates. Here, under all marine invertebrates, we can write echinoderms, jellyfishes, sharks, whales, and also hagfishes. Hagfishes are also given a special term. I have seen this one in one book, that is Hyperotreti. Now, hagfishes are also called as slime eel fishes, and they belong to class Myxine. Third response is migration. So migration is a temporary to and fro movement of organisms from one place to other place. Here, organisms, they respond to different types of abiotic factors like light and the temperature also. Regarding light, all types of organisms, if they have to reproduce, they need some time period of exposure to sunlight or the normal artificially provided lights. So first one we can take here as photo period. Light or sunlight are necessary for living organisms for activation of their gonads. Or for reproduction. Second one, organisms migrate in search of food and also for suitable temperature for hatching of eggs like Siberian cranes, falcons, etc. So, in search of food and for suitable temperature that is required for hatching of eggs. This type of response is selected by falcons and Siberian cranes, which migrate to one special area in Rajasthan. They come to Keolado National Park, which now is called as Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. This is now called as Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary for laying of eggs. When the chicks has become adult, then again they will move from here to their native places. So this is about birds. Next example under this we can take about fishes. Third example, second is birds. First one is different types of organisms for activation of their gonads. Third one is regarding the fishes which are moving from one place to another place. So basing on the movement, fishes are of two types. Basing on migration for egg laying, fishes are of two types. One is Anadromous fishes. These are basically freshwater fishes. They migrate to marine or seawater. Only for egg laying or only for reproduction. Here example for Anadromous type of fishes we can take as eel fishes. Second type of fishes based on migration are Anadromous fishes. Basically these are marine fishes or seawater fishes. These migrate to freshwater only for egg laying. Here example we can take as Hilsa fishes. Not all freshwater fishes are moving to marine water. Not all marine water fishes are moving to freshwaters. Only few types of fishes are adopting such a nature. So here I have given only one example regarding Anadromous and Anadromous types of fishes. This is about third response to abiotic factors, that is migration. Fourth one is, the fourth response to abiotic factor is suspending or simply suspend. What is this suspend? This is also one of the response to stop or suspend metabolic activities. So why organisms are suspending or stopping the metabolic activities? So basing on this stopping or suspending, organisms are undergoing different conditions called as, first one, hibernation. They are exhibiting different types of responses. So hibernation is, in simple words if you want to say, this is called as winter sleep. Winter sleep. Where does this happen? This happens in cold-blooded animals, and warm-blooded animals also. Example we can take as polar bears. They undergo winter sleep, that is hibernation. Other examples we can take like bats, mammals, some birds, etc. Another response is estivation. In simple words we can tell this is summer sleep. Organisms, to avoid the high temperatures, they prefer estivation method. So in which types of organisms will this happen? This happens in cold-blooded animals only. Mostly we can see such type of estivation in animals in amphibians, that is frogs majorly. Next, North American desert tortoise. Next, California tigers. Salamander fishes. Earthworms. Some types of lungfishes also. Some lungfishes. Some organisms, they delay their development due to unfavorable conditions by exhibiting some of the structural changes like forming of spores. So zooplanktons can be said as examples for that. So another type of response is diapause. You know that pause means stopping. So these organisms, they delay the developmental stages by forming spores. Here examples can be taken as zooplanktons. This is about suspend type of response by organisms. Another physiological adaptation or the response by organisms can be explained by taking animals living in colder regions. In case of colder regions, though the animals have large body, but some parts or some body parts are smaller to prevent loss of heat from the body. So example for such body structures or such body smaller extremities are pinna of the ear, snout of the nose, and arms of the arms, nothing but the limbs. So reducing such body structures size is called as Allen's rule. So this adaptation of reducing size of body parts is called as Allen's rule. This is also called as Bergmann's rule. In case of seal fishes, there is another adaptation, that is another response of having blubbers, means thick fatty structures or thick fat layers just below the skin. Those are called as blubbers. So blubbers help as insulators and also helps to reduce loss of heat from the body. There are thick layers of fat below the skin to reduce heat loss and also functions as, these blubbers functions as insulators. So thick layers of fat just below the skin, in case they are called as blubbers. Next, in case of cold-blooded animals like crocodiles, also there is one type of adaptation. So another example we can take from poikilotherms, nothing but cold-blooded animals. They does basking in mud, means exposing their body to overcome the heat loss. Mud and sun to prevent body heat loss. So this can be explained as behavioral change. Behavioral change, another example can be by burrowing animals which live in the burrows during high temperatures to overcome the heat that is during summer season. So these are some of the examples under adaptations by the organisms. Again, try to recall some of the terms like altitude sickness that is exhibited at higher altitudes. So what are symptoms of higher this altitude sickness means? The symptoms will be nausea, fatigue and heart palpitations. And in case of seal fishes, there are thick layers. This can be considered as a physiological change. But in case of burrowing animals and poikilotherms, they are nothing but cold-blooded animals. It will be behavioral change exhibited by the organisms. And Allen's rule is nothing but, though the polar region organisms are having larger bodies, but some of their body parts are smaller in size to prevent the loss of heat from the body. That is called as Allen's rule or Bergman's rule. So this is about adaptations by the organisms for the surroundings, for the changing surrounding atmospheric conditions for organisms' survival.